They say Italians don't cook pasta, they coax it to life. And if you've ever wondered why their pasta somehow tastes richer, silkier, more complete, even when it's just oil, garlic, and a pinch of salt, there's a secret hidden right in plain sight. It's not the sauce. It's not the brand of pasta. It's not even the shape. It's the water. Most home cooks boil their pasta like a chore. A pot, a splash of salt, pasta in, timer on. But for Italian chefs, that water is the birthplace of flavor. They treat it like liquid gold. And what happens inside that pot changes everything that happens after. In Italy, an old saying goes, "L'acqua della pasta è il cuore del piatto." The pasta water is the heart of the dish. And that's where the secret begins. When pasta boils, it releases starch, a soft, invisible dust that transforms plain water into a silky potion. Most people pour it down the drain, not realizing they're throwing away the one ingredient that could make their pasta taste like it came straight from Naples or Rome. Italian chefs save that water carefully, sometimes even before draining the pasta. A single ladleful of that cloudy, starchy liquid can bind sauce and pasta together better than any cream or butter ever could. It's nature's own emulsifier. Picture this: olive oil, garlic sizzling lightly, maybe a hint of chili. Then, just before the pasta hits the pan, a spoon of that water joins the dance. The starch molecules grab onto the oil, hugging it tight, and suddenly you have a glossy, velvety sauce that clings instead of sits. That's the real difference. In a perfect Italian kitchen, sauce doesn't coat pasta. It becomes one with it. And here's where the real artistry starts. Italian chefs don't drain pasta fully. They lift it dripping wet, straight from the pot into the pan. Water, heat, and sauce colliding at once. That's the trick. Let the last minute of cooking happen inside the sauce, not in the pot. The starch, the salt, the temperature, all working in harmony. To most people, that sounds small, but it's this tiny, deliberate act that separates good pasta from I need another bite pasta. Now you might be wondering, how much salt goes into that water? Italians often say, it should taste like the sea. Most beginners undersalt their pasta water. They rely on sauce to do the heavy lifting, but sauce can only stick to what's already seasoned. The moment pasta leaves that pot, it should already taste incredible, even before meeting the sauce. This is what Italians understand intuitively, that every step is a flavor-building opportunity. The way you boil, the way you stir, the way you finish. But let's take it a little deeper. The real magic isn't just what goes into the pot, it's what doesn't. Notice how Italian chefs never rinse their pasta. Cold water kills the starch coating, the very thing that binds sauce to noodle. Once you wash it off, you've lost the golden glue. That simple rinse is one of the biggest pasta crimes outside of Italy. At its heart, pasta cooking is about balance between timing, salt, and patience. Now imagine that same care, that attention, applied to something as simple as spaghetti aglio e olio. Oil, garlic, pasta water. 3 ingredients, infinite soul. The oil glistens, the garlic dances, and when the pasta joins, it's like silk folding into silk. That glossy sheen, that's the starch at work. That's the trick no one told you. And it's not a restaurant secret. You can do it in your own kitchen tonight. Just remember, don't pour that water away. Save half a cup, maybe more. Stir, toss, watch the sauce come alive, like it's breathing. If you're loving this so far, and you're starting to see pasta differently, go ahead. Tap that like button and subscribe for more recipes like this. Because trust me, once you learn the why, cooking becomes so much more than just following steps. It becomes an experience. Now, let's talk about something that often goes unnoticed. Heat. The temperature of the pan, the timing of when pasta meets sauce. This is where Italian chefs play their symphony. The sauce and pasta must cook together, not apart. When they meet too soon, it's soggy. Too late, and the flavors never bond. But at the perfect moment, when everything's just hot enough to shimmer, that's when the dish comes alive. The starch bonds with oil, water reduces into silk, and flavor concentrates into every strand. That right there is the moment Italian chefs don't talk about. They just feel it, and now so will you. Most people think pasta is just food, but in Italy, pasta is memory. It's the rhythm of the kitchen, the heartbeat of a family table, and that's what makes this secret so powerful. It's not just technique, it's tradition. Passed down not in recipes, but in gestures. Every grandmother in Italy has her version of this trick, though she may not call it that. She just knows. She'll tell you, "Don't throw that water away," with the same conviction as if she's protecting something sacred. And she is. See, Italian cuisine is built on respect. Respect for ingredients, for time, for flavor. When a chef reaches for that cloudy pasta water, it's not an accident. It's gratitude. Gratitude for simplicity. Because here's the truth. Italian cooking is never about adding more. It's about adding meaning. The world's best chefs obsess over complexity, foams, reductions, emulsions. But Italians, they've been emulsifying sauce for centuries, with nothing more than starch, heat, and instinct. That's why the secret isn't just a trick, and it's a philosophy. It says, don't waste what you've already created. Think about it. That starch water is a byproduct of your cooking, but it's also the bridge that connects everything together. It's culinary recycling at its finest, and that mindset changes how you cook everything, not just pasta. In a way, that cloudy liquid represents life itself. What you throw away might just be the thing that ties everything together. Now let's take a trip for a moment, south of Rome into Naples, where pasta isn't just food, it's identity. In Neapolitan kitchens, you'll find a kind of reverence for pasta water that borders on poetic. Chefs there sometimes keep it simmering in a side pot, just to have the perfect consistency ready for the next dish. It's that serious. They even have a name for it. Acqua miracolosa, the miraculous water. When you taste the result, that silky, clingy, creamy texture, you realize why. It's not cream that gives carbonara its lusciousness, or butter that makes cacio e pepe so smooth. It's this exact science, this invisible glue between starch and fat. And here's something that might surprise you. Italians never ever pour sauce on pasta. They cook pasta in the sauce. That's right. To them, it's not mixing. It's marrying. They call it manticare. To blend, to bind, to bring together. A gentle sizzle. See the steam rise. And watch the sauce tighten around each strand. That's mantecatura. That's when you know you've done it right. And once you've seen it happen, once you've watched pasta transform from ingredients to emotion, you'll never go back to just boiling again. This is why Italian chefs never rush. They don't chase speed, they chase balance. Every toss of the pan, every splash of water, every stir, it's all rhythm. And that rhythm comes from respect. Respect for time. In Italian kitchens, pasta doesn't follow the clock. It follows instinct. They taste constantly, not to measure, but to understand. That's the other half of the secret. You can't just learn the trick. You have to feel it. Cooking is communication. The pasta talks to you, through texture, through aroma, through sound. When it's almost ready, it starts to move differently in the water. When it's ready to meet the sauce, it tells you. That's why the best chefs always look calm. They're listening. And if you've ever wondered why even a simple pasta in Italy feels soulful, they don't chase perfection, they chase connection. Now think about how this applies to you. The next time you cook pasta, don't just watch the clock. Listen to the sound of boiling water. Feel the texture when you taste a strand. Notice how the sauce reacts when the pasta hits the pan. You'll start to see what they see. That magic moment where everything clicks. And once you find it, once you master it, people will taste the difference, even if they can't explain it. That's what makes your cooking unforgettable. If you're enjoying learning these secrets, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps more people discover this kind of cooking magic. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel for more simple recipes that carry stories like this one. Now let's uncover something most people never think about. Texture memory. In Italy, pasta texture isn't just preference, it's culture. Every region has its definition of al dente. In the north, softer. In the south, firmer. But everywhere, one rule remains sacred. Pasta should never be limp. Why? Because the texture affects how your brain experiences flavor. When pasta has bite, that gentle resistance, it triggers saliva, amplifying taste. The very act of chewing releases more aroma, more satisfaction. It's not just texture, it's science. Italian chefs know this, even if they don't talk about it. That's why they always undercook pasta by a minute, then let it finish in the sauce. That last minute does two things. It deepens flavor and locks in that bounce. It's like music. Timing makes all the difference. And as they toss it, pasta, sauce, water, heat, you can almost see the transformation. The dull matte strands turn glossy, the sauce thickens naturally, and suddenly you're not cooking anymore. You're crafting. You begin to realize this isn't about recipes. It's about relationships. Between ingredients, between patience and timing, between you and your food. Don't go anywhere, because in the final part, we'll step into the emotional side of pasta, how this one humble dish became Italy's greatest love story, and how this single trick connects kitchens across generations. They say the scent of pasta cooking can bring back memories faster than photographs. And maybe that's why, in Italy, pasta isn't just food, it's heritage you can taste. Every Sunday, in homes from Sicily to Milan, the same ritual repeats. Water boiling, sauce simmering, stories flowing. Children run through kitchens filled with steam and laughter, and somewhere a grandmother stirs, quietly teaching without words. She knows exactly when the pasta is ready, not because of a timer, but because of the sound. Rhythm slows, and when she ladles that golden pasta water into her pan, she isn't thinking about chemistry. She's thinking about her mother, and her mother before her, about the way food binds families just as starch binds sauce. That's what the trick really is. It's not about technique. It's about continuity. It's about care. Because when you take time to save that water, to stir, to watch, to taste, you're respecting centuries of wisdom that said, simple things matter. Italians believe that the simplest dishes are the hardest to master, because there's nowhere to hide. When your ingredients are few, every decision counts. Every touch is magnified. And that's why the pasta trick, and as small as it seems, carries so much weight. Of the way the sauce turns glossy, the sound of the wooden spoon scraping the pan, the swirl as pasta and sauce unite. Everything's alive, everything's connected. And when you plate it, no piles, no over-saucing, just a gentle twirl, a drizzle of oil, maybe a sprinkle of cheese. That's when you realize you've done more than cook. You've created balance. That's what Italian cooking is all about. Harmony. Even the act of eating pasta is a lesson. Because the meal isn't just food, it's a moment. And moments are what make memories last. The secret trick that Italian chefs don't want you to know isn't a secret at all. It's respect. Respect for ingredients, for time, and for the craft of simplicity. And when you scoop that little bit of magic back into your pan, smile, because now you know the secret. Your pasta will be smoother, richer, more alive. But more than that, your cooking will start to mean something. Because now you're not just following steps. Hey, if this story made you see pasta a little differently, take a second to like this video. It tells YouTube you love this kind of deep dive cooking storytelling, and it helps us bring more of these secrets to your kitchen. And of course, make sure to subscribe, because every week, we're uncovering new ways to cook smarter, taste deeper, and connect stronger with the food you love. You'll never look at pasta water the same way again. And that is exactly how the Italians like it. Soft music rises. Because in every bubble, every swirl, and every silky strand, there's a story waiting to be told.